October 22, 1947. It wasn't just a date, it was a scream. A loud, furious response to the decades of injustice faced by the Muslims of Kashmir under the oppressive rule of Maharaja Hari Singh, a Hindu Dogra ruler ruling over a Muslim majority land. For years, the people of Jammu and Kashmir were suffocating, taxed beyond reason, silenced, brutalized and marginalized. Then came the day when the silence broke. Why did India occupy Kashmir and why did it all begin? Let's rewind. I am Auroosa Riaz and today we will be taking a deeper look into the conflict of Kashmir, a land of breathtaking valleys, rivers, culture and had a Muslim majority population. Historically, Kashmir was a princely state with a unique culture and identity. And geographically, it spans over 222,000 square kilometers. And today, it is divided into 4 parts: Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Azad Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, both administered by Pakistan, and Aksai Chin under Chinese administration. But Indian occupied Kashmir remains the heart of the conflict and the most militarized zone on earth. At the time of partition in 1947, it was ruled by a Hindu king. According to the logic of partition, Muslim majority areas were to join Pakistan, but Maharaja Hari Singh resisted joining either country. Meanwhile, public sentiment in Kashmir was clear. The people wanted to join Pakistan, so protests erupted across the region. Outrage spread like wildfire and the streets of Muzaffarabad, Baramulla and Srinagar were filled with chants against Dogra rule and in favor of Pakistan. The local Muslims, already suffering under feudal oppression, saw an opportunity for freedom. The situation escalated and Pashtun tribal fighters from Pakistan's northwest entered Kashmir, not as invaders, but as brothers, as defenders. As a flame lit by the pain of their Kashmiri kin, they weren't just carrying weapons, they were carrying centuries of suppressed cries. October 26, 1947, the day a pen supposedly betrayed a nation. Maharaja Hari Singh, panicked, cornered and desperate, allegedly signed the instrument of accession to India. Yes, allegedly. Because even today the original document has never been made public. No signature, no seal, no proof. Just a tale written by the victors. But even if he did sign it, the document was conditional and temporary. It allowed India to send troops for only defense purposes until the peace was restored. And in return, the people of Kashmir were promised something sacred: a choice, a referendum, a plebiscite, and a vote to decide their own future. But instead of peace, the situation escalated. The very next day, on October 27, Indian troops landed in Srinagar. Under the cover of protection, India sent soldiers, and under the excuse of accession, India began its military occupation. And from that moment on, the valley that once echoed with poetry and prayers began to echo with boots, bullets and barbed wires. On 1st of January 1948, India itself took the Kashmir dispute to United Nations. Yes, India. And what did the UN say? Resolutions were passed, crystal clear and unmistakable, that the people of Jammu and Kashmir have the right to self-determination. Let them choose India or Pakistan through a free and fair referendum. But decades passed and that referendum never happened. India, world's so-called largest democracy, denied the very democratic right it had promised. In 1953, Sheikh Abdullah, once India's ally in Kashmir, started voicing the betrayal of promises. And for that, he was arrested and silenced. From 1970s to 80s, Delhi's grip tightened. Rigged elections, puppet leaders, brutal policing, and the voice of Kashmir was muffled by curfews and checkpoints. Then, in 1987, the rigged state election shattered the last thread of faith. Youth took to the streets, but this time they were met with bullets, not ballots. Then came 1990s, the darkest decade for Kashmir. Massacres, disappearances, fake encounters, mass graves, tens of thousands of young Kashmiris gunned down, women violated, children orphaned, and an entire generation lost in shadows. India called it counter-insurgency, but Kashmir called it collective punishment. More than 100,000 of Kashmiris have died, over 10,000 women raped, thousands of children have grown up fatherless, 8,000 plus men have disappeared and never seen again, and over 14,000 political prisoners, including children, are still languishing in jails. And what happened to the Hurriyat leaders? They were Kashmir's voice to the world. Leaders like Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, Mir Wais Umar Farooq, and Yasin Malik all demanded self-determination and Pakistan's stance to be recognized. And for that, they paid the price. Gilani was kept under house arrest till his death, and Yasin Malik was imprisoned under terror charges. Hurriyat was dismantled, demonized, and criminalized. India couldn't silence Kashmir's voice, so it tried to erase it. In 2019, the betrayal of all betrayals started. On August 5, India revoked Article 370, stripping Kashmir of its semi-autonomous status. No dialogue, no consent, no Kashmiri voice. Just a total blackout. Internet cut, phones dead, journalists gagged, movements frozen, and a valley of 8 million people turned into a prison overnight. Over 40,000 extra troops were rushed in on the top of 700,000 plus already deployed. If Kashmiris really wanted to be a part of India, then why the fear? Why the barbed wires? And why the constant military lockdowns? India claims that Kashmiris chose India, but every funeral turns into a protest, every election is boycotted, every child carries a stone, not because of hate, but because of hope to resist. Kashmiris have always denied India's narrative. They have chanted for freedom, not just from India, but from silence, from injustice. Among all of this, Pakistan's stance has remained consistent. As Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah once said, Kashmir is the jugular vein of Pakistan. So, let the people of Kashmir decide. A free and fair UN-sponsored plebiscite as promised. On the other hand, there is India's stance. Control the narrative, crush the resistance, redefine the facts, and rewrite the history. So, this isn't just the story of a land. It's the story of a people waiting for justice, waiting for promise of a referendum, waiting for the world to speak up. And yet, despite the silence, the boots, the checkpoints, and the barbed wires, Kashmir still whispers. Whispers of resistance, of memory, of freedom. Because even when the voices are silenced and stories are rewritten, truth remains, and Kashmir is still waiting to write its own ending.